Laura always dreamed of a beautiful garden where it would be her sanctuary. When she and Felipe, her dedicated husband, finally moved to a house in the countryside, that dream seems within reach. What Laura doesn't imagine is that by accepting an unexpected gift from Felipe, she will embark on a journey of love, loss, and rebirth. In the garden, a profound and transforming secret awaits her, ready to change the course of her life forever. Hello, my friends. I am Linda, and this is Linda's Love Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. Laura had always dreamed of having a lush garden to call her own. Since childhood, she had been enchanted by the vibrant colours of the flowers and the fresh aroma of the plants. She grew up cultivating small pots in her big city apartment, yearning for the day she would have enough space to create a true green paradise. Felipe, her husband, was a dedicated and hard-working man. Although he spent long hours in the office managing his technology company, he always sought ways to make Laura happy. He admired her passion for gardening, even if he didn't understand much about the subject. The couple had been together for 10 years, having met in college. Laura studied botany, while Felipe majored in business administration. Despite their differences, they quickly fell in love. Their love grew like a well-tended seed, watered daily with affection and mutual understanding. As the years went by, Laura and Felipe began to feel that something was missing from their lives. The frenetic pace of the big city and the increasingly demanding work routine left them exhausted. It was then that they decided to make a radical change, buy a country house, and seek a more peaceful life, closer to nature. After months of searching, they found the perfect place, a charming 2-story house with stone walls and a slate roof, surrounded by a vast piece of land. What caught Laura's attention the most, however, was the immense garden at the back of the property. It was completely abandoned, covered in weeds and dead plants, but she immediately saw the potential hidden beneath the neglect. "Look, Felipe!" exclaimed Laura, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Can you imagine how beautiful this garden will be when we restore it?" Felipe smiled, happy to see his wife's excitement. "It's going to be amazing, love. I can't wait to see what you do with this space." Laura started making ambitious plans for the garden. She spent hours drawing layout designs, researching native plants of the region, and making endless lists of flowers and shrubs she wanted to include. Seeing his wife's enthusiasm, Felipe had an idea. One evening, while they were having dinner on the porch of their new house, Felipe held Laura's hand and said, "Honey, I know how much this garden means to you. I want to do something special. Let me take care of the restoration as a gift to you." Laura was surprised. "But Felipe, you don't know anything about gardening, and your job—" Felipe interrupted her with a confident smile. "I can learn. And as for the work, I'll get organised. Trust me, it's going to be an amazing surprise." Reluctant but touched by the gesture, Laura agreed. In the following weeks, she watched curiously as Felipe spent hours in the garden, always keeping his progress a secret. He would come home dirty and tired, but with a gleam of satisfaction in his eyes that Laura hadn't seen in a long time. Meanwhile, Laura dedicated herself to exploring the area around their new house. She discovered enchanting trails through the forest, a small crystal-clear stream, and a beautiful lake just a few kilometres away. She shared her discoveries with Felipe during dinner, and together they planned future outings and picnics. Months passed, and the garden remained a mystery to Laura. Felipe worked tirelessly, always protecting the area with tarps and makeshift fences to preserve the surprise. Laura respected her husband's effort, but her curiosity grew each day. One Saturday morning, Felipe woke Laura up with a gentle kiss. "Get dressed, my love. I have a surprise for you." Intrigued, Laura quickly got ready. Felipe guided her to the car where a picnic basket awaited them. They drove for about half an hour, arriving at a beautiful lake surrounded by lush trees. The place was peaceful and secluded, perfect for a relaxing day. As they spread out the checkered blanket on the soft grass, Felipe seemed nervous but excited. "Laura, I wanted to bring you here because I have something important to tell you." Laura's heart raced. Could it be about the garden? She could barely contain her anticipation. Felipe continued. The garden is almost ready. I've worked hard over the past few months to create something special for you. Each plant, each flower, was chosen with a purpose. I wanted it to be a reflection of our love, a place where we could... His words were interrupted by a sharp bark. Rex, the couple's Labrador, who had been accompanying them on their walk, had slipped out of his leash and was running towards the lake. "Rex, come back here!" shouted Felipe, quickly getting up. The dog, thrilled by his sudden freedom, jumped into the water without hesitation. Felipe, concerned for the animal's safety, ran to the edge of the lake. Laura watched the scene, a mixture of amusement and apprehension on her face. "Felipe, watch out!" she warned, seeing her husband approaching the slippery edge. But it was too late. Trying to reach Rex, who was swimming happily a few meters away, Felipe lost his balance. One moment he was standing, the next, he was diving headfirst into the lake's cold water. Laura jumped up, her heart racing. "Felipe!" she shouted, running toward the water. The seconds seemed to drag on. Laura expected to see Felipe emerge at any moment, laughing at his own carelessness. But the seconds turned into agonizing minutes, and there was no sign of him. Desperate, Laura entered the water. She swam frantically, yelling her husband's name. Rex, sensing his owner's distress, swam in circles, barking non-stop. It was then that Laura saw bubbles rising to the surface not far from where she was. She dived in without a second thought, her eyes burning in the murky water. At the bottom of the lake, she saw Felipe. His foot was stuck in some aquatic plants, preventing him from surfacing. Laura fought against the rising panic in her chest. She tried to free Felipe's foot, but the plants were resistant and slippery. Her lungs burned, begging for air. Reluctantly, she surfaced for a breath, only to dive back down seconds later. The struggle seemed endless. Laura desperately tried to free Felipe, but each failed attempt consumed precious seconds of oxygen. She could see her husband's face, his eyes wide with fear and helplessness. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Laura managed to free Felipe's foot. With all the strength she had left, she pulled him towards the surface. Emerging, she dragged Felipe's inert body to the shore. "Help!" she shouted, her voice hoarse and desperate. "Someone please help me!" But they were alone. The lake, once so calm and inviting, now seemed like a desolate and cruel place. Laura began cardiopulmonary resuscitation, her hands trembling as she pressed on Felipe's chest. "Please, my love, breathe," she pleaded between compressions. "Don't leave me, Felipe, please don't leave me." The minutes passed and nothing changed. Laura's tears mingled with the lake water dripping from her hair. Rex, drenched and confused, whimpered beside the couple. When the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange, Laura finally accepted the terrible truth. Felipe, her beloved husband, had departed. She lay beside him, hugging his cold body, sobbing uncontrollably. The weeks that followed were a blur of pain and disbelief for Laura. The funeral, the condolences from friends and family, the legal proceedings. Everything seemed to happen in a distant reality, as if she were observing someone else's life. The country house, once a symbol of new beginnings and shared dreams, now felt empty and oppressive. Laura wandered through the rooms like a ghost, unable to process the sudden loss. The garden, still hidden behind the fences Felipe had erected, remained an untouched mystery. It was only after a month since the tragedy that Laura found the courage to face the garden. On a cloudy morning, she finally removed the tarps and fences that were protecting the area. What Laura saw took her breath away. Before her lay a true paradise. Felipe had transformed the abandoned space into an oasis of beauty and tranquility. Winding stone paths meandered between lush flower beds, filled with colourful flowers and well-tended shrubs. A small fountain bubbled gently at the centre, surrounded by rustic wooden benches. Laura walked slowly through the garden, touching the soft petals of the flowers, feeling the texture of the leaves under her fingers. Each step revealed a new detail, a new surprise. she recognized many of the plants she had mentioned in her lists and drawings. Felipe had clearly paid attention to every word she had said about her dreams for the garden. In the heart of the garden, Laura found a small wooden structure, like a miniature gazebo. As she approached, she noticed an envelope attached to the door. With trembling hands, she opened it. "My dear Laura, if you are reading this letter, it means that I was finally able to show you the garden I've been working on with so much love over the past few months. Every plant, every flower, every stone in this place was chosen with you and our story in mind. The red roses near the entrance represent the day we met. Remember how you were wearing a red dress? White lilies symbolize our marriage, pure and full of promises. The small oak tree in the eastern corner represents the strength of our love, something that grows slowly but becomes unshakable over time. I wanted this garden to be an eternal gift for you, a place where you could find peace and remember all the happy moments we shared. I hope that, by tending to this space, you feel my love for you blooming each day. I love you more than words can express. Felipe." Tears ran freely down Laura's face as she read and reread the letter. The garden, which once represented an unrealized dream, now became a living testament to Felipe's love. Every flower, every plant, told a story, their story. In the days and weeks that followed, Laura spent every spare moment in the garden. She tended to the plants with dedication, as if each one were an extension of Felipe himself. The act of gardening, which had always been her passion, now became a form of therapy, a way to process her grief and connect with the memories of her husband. As the seasons changed, the garden evolved. New flowers blossomed, revealing surprises Felipe had planned. Laura discovered tulip bulbs that emerged in the spring, a small orchard with the couple's favourite fruits, and even a bed of aromatic herbs she'd always wanted in the kitchen. The space became a refuge not just for Laura, but also for friends and family who came to visit her. Many commented on how they could feel Felipe's presence there in every carefully planned detail. Years went by, and Laura met a young couple who were about to get married. They were so touched by her and Felipe's story that they asked for permission to hold their ceremony in the garden. Laura, moved, agreed. On the wedding day, as she watched the couple exchange vows under the same oak tree that Felipe had planted years ago, Laura felt a profound sense of peace. She realized that the legacy of love Felipe had left continued to live on, not just through the plants and flowers, but in the hearts of the people who were touched by their story. That night, sitting on her favourite bench in the garden, Laura looked up at the stars and smiled. "Thank you, my love," she whispered, "for this incredible gift, for every moment we shared, and for teaching me that love, like this garden, can be eternal." The gentle breeze rustled the leaves, as if Felipe were responding, reminding Laura that even though he was no longer physically present, his love continued to flourish in every corner of the green paradise they had created together. If you enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with a number from 1 to 5 to let us know how much you liked the story. Also, watch the video that is currently on your screen. See you soon.